welcome back to the Dance of Evolving. If you are new to the channel, we are a group of souls who are continually working to become our most sovereign selves, and in doing so, we're building self-awareness, working through things that we possibly previously ignored, and really experiencing liberation from day to day and cultivating an unconditional love within ourselves, so then we are able to give it to others. Today what I wanted to talk about is developing an inner confidence when we're actually visualizing our future self. Last week I posted my first meditation, and it focuses on really visualizing your future self, stepping into that muse, into that ride or die, your teammate who can be by your side, and truly becoming that, starting to move like that person does within your mind, and even living in that emotion. So I've been thinking about this week. The game really changes when you stop fighting against yourself and you take that same effort and you start fighting for yourself. And as I've been working through things day to day and doing this, the game really truly does change, because if you're deeply rooted in your most authentic self and you have a self-awareness, your connection to yourself and even your future self just continues to become fortified, even through challenging moments. And in fact, the challenging times are what brings the fortification. I would want to say that each day I'm at the point where, and if I catch myself when I'm not, I'm very thankful for the consciousness of it. But the fact that you don't want anything in your life, and you don't want to behave anyway except for 100% your most authentic self, and let everything else that comes into your life, like with zero need to control it, be a result of you just being your most authentic self and being on your most authentic path, and having that matched energy. And anything that needs to leave the path, it's not a form of rejection, but just simply that it is not in the same vibration as you are, as you're continuing to build your momentum for success and for the things that you're desiring, and for fulfilling your purpose. Because really our purpose is to magnify the joy and the unconditional love that we are cultivating within, and to help others see that within ourselves. I'm realizing that really the one of the few main ways to have this self-connection and to be able to build this inner confidence, and stay till the end to get the actual journal entries and how this has helped me this week, but is to truly journal. And it builds that real self-love and that self-compassion, to be able to have those stream of thoughts flowing without judgment, and with compassion, and having the ability to voice all of your thoughts, knowing that you are not your thoughts, but being able to process them. It's almost like we position ourselves to test ourselves. Like, who are we in battle? And if you haven't checked out the meditation that I posted last week, well, there'll be a link here and a link below too. Check it out. It's a 10-minute meditation that will really get you in that mindset of visualizing you as your future self, and really starting to think, who are you in battle? How do you show up? Who are you in those moments? And our mind, when we rehearse those things, it becomes so much more of a natural go-to than our former patterns, which we know no longer serve us. So it's literally like we can rehearse it. We can be like, man, this shit is hard. But on the other side, it's so worth it to get on the other side of that challenge, because the impact that we can make with other people who also might be going through that same thing, the freedom that we will feel, the fortification that we will have within our soul because we have made it through that challenge. It's like we're telling ourselves, get up, take the next step, before we even have to get up and take the next step. So we know that we're already going to be strong enough to do it. I think about like watching MMA, UFC, and think about it, you are in the arena with yourself. So it's like you step into the arena with yourself, and you are not alone. and then I even think about in life, like when I think about the term, like describing someone as soft versus fragile. Like someone fragile, yeah, they're gonna break. They haven't taken the time to train and to prepare. I mean, think about UFC fighters, how much they train, how much they prepare mentally and physically. Why not invest in ourselves this way, in our future selves? And yeah, physically preparing ourselves to be our best selves, that's part of it. It's how we're becoming who we're becoming. And be it till you become it, instead of fake it till you make it. But mentally as well, you're training, and you are not the fragile heart and the fragile mind and the fragile spirit and body, but you are soft though. You have the ability to have a soft and an open heart, but yet you have a knowing of your core to stay in vibrational alignment, to when something's off, you're like, peace. And you don't bend and break for external validation for other people. That is the difference. And that just doesn't come by accident. It comes by rehearsing. And guys, this comes through journaling and meditation. So if you're thinking like, how do I step into the ring with myself? Well, when journaling, thinking, well, who am I on the way to all of our goals? And I like to think when we are truly in line with like our values. So if you're not sure what your values are, I would start with that. But journaling and creating that relationship with your future self, thinking, how does she move? Okay, how does she handle hits? Is she composed or is she freaking out? You know, ask yourself this about yourself. Get connected after creating this being in your mind. And each day, guys, my muse, my ride or die, my future self, I'm getting a different picture in my mind. She's becoming stronger because I'm taking the time. And it's just like rolling in, streaming consciousness as you are visualizing, you know, your future self. So this could be a once a week activity. This could be every day. It's really whatever you want. But I'm thinking like, who is Anna? I mean, just simple questions. Like, what does she like? What turns her on? What turns her off? Like, what is she truly afraid of? How does she react to fear? And the more I do this, and the more you do this, you're going to start showing up as her, as your teammate, as your best friend, as your ride or die, and you're not alone then. You're there in the arena with your future self, your muse. You move into challenges in such a strategic manner. And she also, your future self, there with you, mentally rehearsed, and there with you, moves for you. And this takes time. You have to spend time and deeply connect with who you are, and not just who you are currently, and with compassion and situational awareness, but also who you're blooming into, and then holding on to still that, I love it, the excitement of the future. And like I talked about, the sweet spot in life, to be able to have that excitement for your future self, but then also to be able to be present in the moment and to contribute to the moment that is passing by us, that we can cherish, truly cherish. So, and every time we say yes and we step into the arena and we accept a challenge, because challenges are going to come our way. So when I also think about my future self and I'm journaling, I think, well, what would have to be true for these desires, these goals that my future self is actually doing when I picture myself? What would have to be true from day to day? It's talking about like getting comfortable with discomfort. And the more that we get comfortable with discomfort, there's tension. And when we think about our muscles, and the more that we add tension to our muscles, well, the stronger, the more it's going to be fortified. And it fortifies and it strengthens. And we all know that if we reframe our challenges as opportunities for strength, and we know that every challenge, the other side is victory, well, we're just going to keep saying yes to stepping into the arena with not only our current selves, who is willing to work through adversities and challenges, but we're also then in that state of being of our future self and acting out what we've already rehearsed in our mind of how he or she will move. And what will have to be true? What will I have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable with? What patterns will I actually need to break? And what new patterns will I need to start? It's really easy to opt out of being our most authentic selves, and a lot of people have, and to settle. But one thing that I've been doing is, and I've heard on Women of Impact, the podcast, is reverse engineering. Like thinking, if you're not sure if you should be doing something or if you should go a certain route, well, ask yourself, how will my future self feel? How will I feel about who I am in that moment? So am I going to be proud of myself? Am I going to be thinking that I'm moving forward? Because every inch makes the mile. And the mile is how we're viewing ourselves in the future. And living in that emotion, living in that state of being. And it really all comes down to, how do I feel about myself when I'm by myself? So thank you for waiting until the end, watching till the end. I'm going to go ahead and actually post up my journal, my exact journal entry that I prompted myself with this week. And I simply focused on the meditation from last week. I listened to it a few different times, and I really envisioned my future self, and I started to think about the relationship with my future self. And the first part, and you'll be able to see it here, is, how do I move? When I visualize my future self, how do I move from day to day? This can be, and I just streamlines of consciousness. I just started rolling ink. I started to really explain to myself how I viewed myself in tough situations from day to day, in the mornings, anything that came to my mind. And I did this a few different days. What do I value? And I do have my top 3 values, but what do my actions look like, and my behaviors and my thoughts? How do they line up with my values? How do I handle hits? I know certain things that usually get me down, and how do I handle these hits? And then as I'm thinking about my future self, I'm also thinking about, well, what are the desires for my future self? What am I actually desiring when I feel that I'm lined up? And I know that there's going to be a waiting room, and I want to be in that state of being, of enjoying the process while I'm waiting for those actual desires to come to fruition. So after I decided, well, what are the desires for my future self? And then to make this reality, what would have to be true from day to day? Meaning, how am I going to get through certain adversities? What is going to truly have to be true for me to see these desires come to pass that I can control? And so I actually revisited this 3 different times, and it's really starting to become a way of thinking for me. So hopefully this was helpful. If any of you want to share how your journaling helped you, or any of the journal entries that you have been writing since I've started this, go ahead and feel free to comment below. If you have yet to subscribe and you love this content, go ahead and subscribe. If you like this video, hit like, and don't forget to hit the bell for notifications, and share this video if you think anyone would benefit from it. I encourage everyone to enjoy the rest of your week. Don't forget to take the time to just find these smallest moments of the day to embrace and just let your heart feel happy. Like for right now, the sky is just so beautiful, and it's a great day to be alive, to be quite honest. So I encourage you all to smile, and help someone else's heart smile this week as well. All right, peace.